What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Axe Creation. Today we're going to be taking a look at another collaboration between drummer Addison Kurt and myself. Definitely go check out his video for the drummer perspective on what we're talking about today. And the focus point of what we're talking about is kind of twofold. One, in the style that me and Addison have been writing in, a very important aspect of that is syncing up and playing together. Not just, here's a guitar riff and here's a drum beat. It's syncing up and playing the same rhythm, playing it together. And the other aspect of what we're going to be talking about today is syncopation. And if you're unfamiliar with what syncopation is, the easiest way to kind of understand it is that we want to accent upbeats, stay away from downbeats, and especially strong downbeats. So before we get started, check out the riff, the performance, and then we'll come back and we'll explain the guitar part. So before we get started, a quick tuning note. I'm playing a 7-string in drop A. You don't have to be playing on a 7-string, just make sure to put yourself in any drop tuning and the riff will work out just fine. So as you heard, and as I said earlier, the riff opens up with a simple chug pattern, and during that chug pattern, Addison and I are synced up. My guitar part is synced up with his kick drum, locked together tight. So we're in 7/8. And the chug pattern is pretty simple to understand. You can think about it as 2-1-1-5, 3-3-1-5, sorry, 3-3-5, and then 3-1-1-5. Simple enough. So let's say that again. It's 2-1-1-5, 3-3-5, 3-1-1-5. And when you look at the lesson transcription, you'll see, as I said before, this is heavily syncopated. So a lot of those hits are on upbeats. The upbeat of 2, the upbeat of 3, the run of 5 notes starts on an upbeat, which is very important. Now, we turn this riff around with a quick measure of 6/8. I like throwing in even measures at the string, usually the 4th measure, the magic turnaround measure. I like throwing even measures, even number meters in there because it helps even it out and really turns it around nice. So we're going to drop down from 7/8 to 6/8, and I'm just outlining basically these chords. You have this D minor chord and then a C chord. And what I'm doing is I'm picking out, if I start on my 5th string, I'm going 8-7, hitting my E string, going 8-5, and then 8-5 on the low A string. Then I'm going to go up the next chord. 3-7, 3-7, 3-7. And I like that in particular because we end on E, which is the 5 of A, so you get a nice 5-1 cadence. Very nice. So let me put that together for you. Do it slow. So that riff is going to open up to a much more complicated, not really, but a little more interesting idea. So what we're doing there, and before we get started on this, it is the same rhythm. The same rhythm as the chug pattern is in this, minus a few notes here and there. And when we talk about syncopation, again, look at the lesson transcription, and you'll see that on every measure of this riff, the downbeat of 1 is tied over from the last note. So not one time am I playing, besides the first measure, am I playing on the downbeat of 1, which is a great compositional tool. So coming out of that 1, we're going to start the riff. So let me explain what I'm doing real fast. Again, we're in the A, centered around that. And the chord progression, you can kind of think I'm just embellishing this open note, and then I'm stepping it up a half step to the first fret. And it's very Phrygian, very common thing to do in metal. Very simple thing, but obviously stylistically we're playing a little different. So I'm just chugging on my open A, hitting the octave, and then coming down and doing a little scale. 1 on the E, and then 3, 1, 3 on the low A. Then we're going to step up a half step, which is nice in the drop A tuning, or any drop tuning when you play a power chord shape. Get a nice dissonant sound. So again, we step up, and then what I'm doing is I'm major 7th shape. So we're skip a string, the 2 down the 3. A lot of dissonant notes mixed in. Then we have this little fill turnaround, which I like a lot. Play 1 on your E. A quick pull off on 3 and 0 on our A string to 4 on our E string. And then repeat that just on a lower string. 1. Down to 3. Up to 2. The same 2 that we jumped up. So we're kind of making connections between those notes. And then the riff is going to basically repeat, and then the only difference is that the turnaround on the second half is different. We're going to step up to 11/8 and just make the fill longer. So we have... And there, I ended on the major second from A, taking it out of Phrygian, giving it a slightly different sound. And that fill is basically the same thing. It starts out the same. And I'm going to slow down instead of those quick 30-second notes, just standard 16th notes. Alright, 1, 3, 3. Up to 7. Put a nice vibrato on it. So again, check it out. Let me know what you think about it, and all the lesson transcriptions as well as the backing track will be on my axcreation.com site. As soon as you log in, the download link will appear. I'll put the drum beat at a couple different tempos so you can play it slow and then at full speed. And that's about it. So I hope you like what we're doing, and as always, let me know what you come up with. Until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.